Hey, so bought this building about 2-3 weeks ago. Just starting to kind of get things organized here. Place is in pretty rough shape. Got a couple pit bulls on site. What are you gonna say? You gotta do what you gotta do to get a deal. So we're gonna walk you through how to take a building and turn it around. So let's just kind of walk. You know, we got all that trash back there. Yeah, we got a couch and shit. Like, what is that? So we'll get all that cleaned up here, and we'll be sitting pretty before you know it. So stay tuned. Like, look at the side here. Like, what's going on? Like, who knows? We're gonna dig in. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get this building cleaned up. Let's see how long it takes to get fully occupied. We're half occupied right now, so with some rents that are kind of low. So stay tuned to see what happens over here at North Cove. Okay, so one of the first things that I want to do with the new property is I want to try to get the dogs out of there, right? So we're not a big fan of having pets in buildings, especially dogs, because of the damage that they can do. So how do we do that? Well, what I always do first is I send all the leases and all the information that I have over to my attorney and have him review it to give me advice on what direction that I should go. I've got an idea on what I should do, right? But a good attorney is gonna be able to tell you the right steps to take so that if you do have to evict this tenant or get them out, you're doing it legally and in the proper manner so that you don't go to court and the judge says, well, you did things wrong, Mick. Now you gotta go start back over and you're stuck with them for another month, maybe two, depending on how quick the courts are going. So send all the stuff to your attorney, get his advice and get his proper steps on what we should do. In our case, I guess we were a little bit lucky because the tenants' leases were either expiring that month or they had already expired and they were on month-to-month leases. Perfect, right? So you're on month-to-month leases. We provided them with a notice that says we would like to renew your lease. All leases will be renewed with no pets allowed, and we are going to take them up in rent, okay? And I'll get to that in a second. So we're going to offer them a lease renewal, let them know no pets will be allowed, and if they don't decide to sign the lease renewal, then they will have to move out in 30 days, okay? Super easy. Again, you might get some pushback from the tenants on it, but stick to your guns, all right, and know that you're following the right procedures. All right, I touched on this a little bit, but the second thing in that lease renewal is I'm going to bring the rent up a little bit, okay? So these guys happen to be pretty far below market rents. So I'm going to take them up just below market rent is that, right? So I don't want to take them all the way up to market rent because I'd like to keep them in there as a tenant. The building's only half full. So if I have some cash coming in, that would be a good thing. So those are the two things that I do. Lease renewal, tell them to get the dogs out. Second thing, get the rent up to market rent, okay? You'll probably have some tenants that'll sign. You'll probably have some that won't. In my case, we had 1 out of 3 decide to sign. So one of the tenants is super happy about what we're doing. She signed right away and let me know. The other 2 who have the pets, probably gonna be on their way out. But now I'm in control of the situation because I contacted my attorney and I'm following the proper steps. So I can plan, I can know when that move out's gonna be so that I can get my contractors lined up to turn that unit, okay? Next time, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about some of the maintenance things that we start out with on a new property. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do inside the building, now that we've got the leases and everything figured out, is I wanna work on the common area so that it looks really nice when everybody comes inside. So I'm gonna show you a little bit what the common area looked like when we got here, okay? So, as you can see, not exactly ideal for new tenants who are coming in looking to rent. So, here is what it looks like now. As you can see, a pretty big difference than what we started with, right? So, how did we do it? It actually really wasn't all that difficult. The first thing we did, obviously, was put a really good clean on those steps, right? To make sure that we could get the work done that we needed to. So we cleaned, then we painted the outsides of the steps and the trim. At a Home Depot, you can get those rubber mats to go over the steps. They're about $5 a piece. So again, get some good durable paint to paint the steps. $5 a piece on those stair step risers. Super cheap, right? As far as the flooring goes, you know, that's up to you. We went with a waterproof flooring. That's about $2.49 a square foot. Really not that bad. You could probably go a cheaper route with a vinyl, but we wanted something durable that we would never have to change again. So now we got the common area ready to go. It's time to start working on those apartments.